Attention, functional fitness athletes or barbell athletes, every time you work out, your body is telling you secrets that you can use to then improve your performance. That's right, your body is telling you no evals, no money needs to be spent. Your body's telling you what needs to be done. This series is going to give you an insight to those little tips that your body's already telling you. Your body's telling you secrets, and today it is coming from your butt. No, it is not farts. It is the shape of your glutes. As we get older, you might start to notice that the rump is not as round as it used to be. It's starting to flatten out. You start looking all over the internet for the best booty gains, the best glute exercises, and all you find are these banded side steps and hip thrust movements, and you know that there's more to the story. You want that rump roundness back. Stay tuned. In this video, we're going to go through the best activities to start to redevelop those glutes for longevity. To get those glutes round again, we have to look at the best strengthening exercises first. It's not a hip thrust. It's not a deadlift. It is a step up. This EMG research shows that the most activity neurally for the glutes is actually done in a step up and step up variations, with the first one being a traditional step up, the second one being a lateral step up, and then there's diagonal and crossover step ups. The reason being that this is one of the best glute max exercises. You're taking that muscle that's a hip extensor through the full range, and being in single leg makes it where there's more stability demands on the other glutes, the glute med and the glute min. It's a great exercise. You can hold weights in both hands. You can hold one weight up in a front rack position or like a goblet squat position. You can have fun with this movement. Make sure you're adding variation to keep it fresh and to keep your brain stimulated. The research showed that this activity was the highest with a 6 rep max. You don't have to do a 6 rep max. You can if you want, but again, have fun based on numbers on what your goals are. The glutes are some of the most powerful muscles that we have. They are a spurt muscle with a high physiological cross-sectional area, meaning that they want to be explosive. What you're likely missing in your glute development program is explosiveness. It's jumping. You can see Brandy here is doing some box jumps, working on that vertical explosive power. And on the next one, Brandy's going to stay at the top. She's going to come down, land, and then jump back up, because research is showing that the glutes are sometimes the most powerful during braking versus propulsive forces. So she's up, she's going to jump down again. There's braking, explosion up. That's how we can train the glutes. You want to make sure you're giving yourself a good rest break, because you want these jumps to be high intensity. Brandon, show us just a weenie jump of not going full intensity. Easy, right? Not going to get much of a benefit out of that. You want to be able to put max effort into these jumps, so make sure you're giving yourself a rest break. Brandon's going to go ahead and go off to the side. So we worked on vertical explosiveness. Now we want to work on horizontal, which is going to be a broad jump. Think of a hip thrust, think of a deadlift, of how you're hinging back and then exploding forward with your hips. That's what we're going to do with the broad jump. If we want to increase the stability demands of the glutes, we can now do this from one leg. Single leg takeoff, single leg landing. You want to build up to this, but these are great glute activities to make sure that we're working on the power of the glutes, which will help to develop that roundness. The third activity we're going to look at for glute development, we want to develop more power as an explosive muscle. It's one of the best activities that you probably haven't done since your younger years that we should start incorporating if you've developed enough strength for this activity. That activity is going to be sprinting. Max effort sprinting shows that the glutes get some of the highest development. All right, Brandy, let's show it off. 3, 2, 1, go. You want to go max effort. That'll get those glutes going. The glutes are some of the most powerful muscles we have in the human body, with the highest cross-sectional area. It's a muscle you want to spend time developing because it's going to help with your health long term. In this series, we went over 3 activities that you can do for glute development. But reminder, in order to do power-based activities, you have to develop strength first. There's a fundamental relationship between strength and power, in which power does not exist unless there's a baseline of strength. So spend some time with those step ups that we showed in that first video. It can be a regular step up, lateral step up, use different weights, use different rep schemes, have fun with it. But that's a great glute development based exercise. Then we got into power. As we get older, it's not about force over a time of distance. It's force times distance in the quickest amount of time that you can do that in. A lot of research is showing that we live longer and happier and healthier, independent lives when we have more muscular power. So not only developing muscular power, but you'll start to get the roundness back into those glutes with these power-based exercises. The second one, we went into jumping. Jumping is great for vertical power and horizontal power. It's developing the framework to then allow yourself to tolerate sprinting again. When you start sprinting, short distances, fast speeds, do not worry about your running mechanics. All the running mechanics research shows that the faster that you run, those inadequacies or those mechanics that are flawed are actually cleared up with a faster cadence. Short distances, fast, long rest breaks, have fun with it. Thank you for watching this video. If you're liking this content, subscribe, share it with a friend that's looking for the best booty gains workout that they can get based off of the science. Stick around. We have one bonus video coming up right after this. Because you are awesome and the glutes are awesome, we're actually going to give two bonuses. One, if you want to keep hip thrusts in your workout, go ahead and keep them. But if you're after the glutes, this little tip goes a long way. From the research, when you're doing the hip thrust, instead of having your feet here, you're going to externally rotate them about 30 degrees intentionally. As you come up, drive those knees out into a little bit of external rotation, because the glutes not only do hip extension, they also do hip external rotation and abduction. So when you combine all those together, you'll get more fibers of the glutes. Last bonus tip, which may be as important as the activity, do the activity, we need to recover. Because if you are walking around in fear and have a lot of cortisol floating around, you're going to be tucking your tail and walking like this. We don't want that. We want you to have a proud chest up here where you feel like you can take on the world. So we want to be able to recover. Recovery strategies, you can lay down, lay on your back, lay on the floor, work on some diaphragmatic breathing, making the belly rise and fall, not through the chest, not through the mouth. Other than that, go for some walks, hang out with community, do whatever you need to do to allow yourself to recharge and recover. That is the secret recipe to the glute gains.